Welcome to SEC Tournament Reaction with Chris Muller. I'm your host, Stephen Willis. We're going to talk all about Ole Miss losing a 3-2 decision to Arkansas today, and get all of that in there. Before we get started, though, I do want to tell you I am looking for former players, football-wise, to preview Ole Miss for 2021. We're going to do these interviews and put these videos up in mid to late July, or mid June to late July. I always get those dates wrong. If you have any questions about it, you can hit me up at positivelyolemiss at gmail.com. Again, that is positivelyolemiss at gmail.com. Hey, Chris, we have more pitching depth than we knew going into the SEC tournament. That's the question that absolutely got answered in this tournament. But it just wasn't quite enough. Arkansas is just absolutely relentless.
Yeah, they always are. I thought we played extremely well today. We just didn't come out on top, and sometimes that's the way baseball works. An old manager for the Texas Rangers used to have a saying that it was baseball go how baseball go, and baseball did go that way today. I thought we pitched, like you said, extremely well. Cody Adcock pretty much doubled his season high, 4.1 innings pitched. He allowed just 2 runs, and those were that 2-run home run that he allowed in the first inning. So he really settled in after that and gave us a really, really quality start and gave way to the bullpen. In the bullpen, I thought the bullpen was really solid, only allowed 1 run. I believe that was Jackson Kimbrell, I think in the 5th or 6th inning. But Kimbrell pitched well. And then Wes Burton, although he didn't shut the game down completely, didn't get the last out, he went 2.2 innings. It was his career high in innings. He allowed no runs, which I was really, really happy for Wes to be able to pitch that way. I've talked about the energy that Wes gives out on the mound. I love to see that from Wes. I know that gets our fans fired up. It gets the announcers fired up. It makes a lot of highlight reels and stuff like that. So I think Wes is just really great for the program, really great for the brand and everything else like that. He had a career high 4 strikeouts, if I didn't say it already. So really top quality pitching today. Like you said, top quality pitching all weekend long. Every starter had a really quality start, all the way from Doug back on Tuesday through Cody today. Just really, really good stuff this week. So I was really happy with the pitching staff, the starters, the bullpen. Really, everybody did a great job.
Yeah, and anybody that could have predicted or anything with Ole Miss baseball, a pitching performance like this in Hoover this week, they would be lying to you. Anybody that says they knew this was coming, this is all a pleasant surprise. This really opens up a couple of new pathways for a regional next week.
Yeah, I think that the pitchers that, getting length out of Adcock today and Myers yesterday was really great to see. If those guys can do half as much and give us 2 shutdown innings, 3 shutdown innings in a mid-relief situation, we're really in a good position. And the other thing that we've talked about a little bit on shows this week is, the quality of competition is not going to be Arkansas and Vanderbilt next week. I mean, Arkansas is the #1 team in the country, and they're that for a reason. It's no joke. It's no fluke. They won 10 out of 10 SEC series. Vanderbilt's the #3 team in the country. They're the #3 team for a really good reason. They're a solid squad. They've got 2 really great starting pitchers, and we've defeated, like you said this morning, we've defeated both those guys. Kumar went down in Oxford. Viter went down in Hoover, both in our hands. And so, I'm not going to say next week's going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think the path through a regional is a little bit different than the path through Hoover, Alabama.
Yes, and so many people were talking about when you pitch Doug and all that. Mike has a propensity to throw him in the 1-4 game, the ace in the 1-4 game. Now with this Hoover situation with pitching, it might not be that big of a deal. It might not be a storyline going into this.
Yeah, I think that you look at the bracket and you see who you're matched up against before you're able to make a decision like that. But right now, if it's me and I've got the Sharpie, I'm throwing Doug on Saturday, and that's looking at a blank bracket. But we'll see what happens on Monday with the selection show, who we get drawn up against, and go from there. Obviously, Mike's going to make the decision that he thinks is going to be the best to get us through late Sunday night or even Monday, if that is the case.
And, I would be remiss before we get into all the future talk. Man, Hayden Dunhurst made some plays today.
Uh, Absolutely. If we don't see him tomorrow morning on Sports Center in that last segment they do called Top 10 Plays, I'd be really surprised. Bianco mid game felt like it was going to be top three. I can't argue with that. When you go head over heels into somebody else's dugout, that's pretty cool stuff. He also had a really great caught stealing in I believe it was the eighth inning to get the bases clean for Burton. May even been the ninth inning to clean things up a little bit for Wes. So Wes is just such a competitor back there. He calmed somebody down today. I can't remember what it was. He didn't get a pitch that was down the zone, and he really, he's really a field general back there behind the plate. So I'm really happy with Wes, with Hayden, as well as his ability to perform at the plate. But defensively, he's absolutely a juggernaut back there.
Yeah, and you talked about that caught stealing. Another part of that caught stealing that was integral was that tag by Jacob Gonzalez that was absolutely phenomenal. Without that, that's a stolen bag all day. But it was so quick.
It was very quick, and they went to replay, looked at it, but he absolutely got him in the chest. I don't think it. I think if they would have called him safe on the field, they probably would have got him out. That's how not close that play was, in my opinion. And Jacob Gonzalez was obviously the offensive story of the game today. His 2-out RBI in the fifth inning, I think, was really fourth or fifth inning, was really key to us tying the game up. Obviously, it was really good. And this whole week, he really raked really hard, right around 400 for the week. So that guy is going to continue to perform really well from us, as well as position himself really well to be a guy that we see with a solid future in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and we had a couple of issues with base running. That's going to be the big storyline from this game. But I am of the opinion that if you play Arkansas straight up without taking chances that could always backfire, you're going to lose the game. So you have to perform at a very risk-taking level, because if they make it, all of a sudden, TJ makes it, he's second and third, 2 outs, and Justin Bench coming up to bat with a chance to do something and make a bigger inning that could separate from Arkansas other than playing it safe. I know it's a coulda, woulda, shoulda situation. Hindsight's always 20/20, but I don't look too much downward at those guys on the base paths, because the double steal with the strikeout, throw them out, that was just an aggressive call.
Yeah, and I think it was Hayden Dunhurst that was at bat when that happened. And Hayden has the propensity to put the ball in play at a pretty high rate. And so what they were trying to do, in my opinion, in that situation, I believe it was Elko that was on first. And so in sending everybody on that pitch, they were trying, when he did put the ball in play, they were trying to avoid the double play by having Elko get to second. And then in that situation, if Hayden does put the ball in play, there's still only 2 outs, but we've got runners on second, third in that situation. So I don't fault the call, but it is something that people are going to talk about. And the other one you did talk about was TJ trying to get an extra 90 feet on kind of an overthrow in the 6th inning. It just looked really bad. And Clem, you could see in the replay, was pointing at first. And then he did the surrender Cobra move when TJ took off towards second base, because I think he knew exactly what was going to happen. Obviously, Arkansas had to make that play, make the throw, make the tag, but they're just so solid defensively. And if you looked at where they lined up all day long, it seemed like whenever we were hitting balls up the middle, they would get hit right to the shortstop. So They had us play really, really well from a defensive standpoint. And I hope they don't share that with anybody that shows up next weekend at Oxford.
Yeah, and really interesting. And most teams, whenever you put high pressure on them, there's a propensity to crack, to make a mistake and do something like that. Arkansas doesn't seem to do that. That is an incredibly solid baseball team.
Yeah, and that's again, that's why they're number one. They play straight good baseball. They hit the ball. They're relentless at the plate. They're relentless in the field, and they just keep coming after you. The other situation that was damning to us was we left the bases loaded with 1 out in the 5th. So I think Elko struck out, and then Hayden grounded to first, And so that ended our potential rally to put more than 2 on the board in the fifth.
Yeah, and that leaves the question, what's next? What's the benchmarks we're looking for?
Yeah, next we've got the NCAA announcements tomorrow night for regionals. There's absolutely no reason. I mean, every prognostication that I've seen going back after we beat Vanderbilt in the series there, we've been moved up to a hosting spot. I've seen anywhere from 7, which I thought was pretty aggressive. I'd be surprised if we got up to 7, all the way back to 11 or 12. So I think we'll probably land somewhere in that 9 or 10 range. And we'll wait and see. So that won't be announced until Monday morning on the selection show. It's a live show on ESPN2, 11 o'clock. So be sure to check that out. We'll see who our opponents are for the regional round, as well as see where we're paired with, who we're paired with for the super regional. So we'll know if we're going to be on the road for super regionals if we win, or if somebody's going to come to Oxford. And obviously, if the national seed were to get bounced in the 2 seed in that regional were to win, and we were to win, obviously we would host super regionals with Oxford in that situation.
Yeah, and obviously with the regional, we will cover it exactly like we did this week, a preview show and a reaction show each day that the Rebel plays with Chris Muller, the superstar himself, giving all the insights that we need. And, I mean, it's just going to be good stuff. We need to enjoy it. We need to have fun. And if you have any questions, we're going to try and figure out a way maybe to make it more interactive. We might come up with a time or something to come on and open up the chat room. I don't know, but it's going to be exciting. The regional in Oxford, I guess next Friday. Is it next Friday? Is it all on Friday now?
Yep, everything's on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the if game would be on Monday of next week. And then super regionals, if we get that far, would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or a Saturday, Sunday, Monday situation. But that's obviously a little bit down the road. So look for the Rebels to host that first game on Friday night at Swayze.
And also, thank you guys for the huge numbers the last couple of days on short turnaround videos, like 4 and 5 hours, nearly 1,000 views. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. I know Chris appreciates it as well. But once we get into the regional, we're going to figure out a way to cover this preview, reaction, all the big stuff that you've come to expect from Ole Miss baseball and us. So it's going to be pretty great. Anything you want to add, Chris?
I'm just really excited about the postseason. Should be a good time. There's a lot left to play for. Obviously, the SEC tournament is not what we wanted to win necessarily. It would have been great if we would have won it, but the real season starts now, and so there's a ton left to play for. Hope everybody gets their tickets, supports the guys as best they can, and I'll see everybody at Swayze next week.
Absolutely. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we will see you Friday for a preview. Take care.
That's great. Hotty toddy.